Elton John's Your Song has one of the most iconic piano intros of all time. Elton's piano playing and songwriting has always hugely inspired me. I remember going to see him live when I was about 14 years old. He's one of the greatest musicians in the world. In this video, I'm going to break down this iconic piano intro, and I'm also going to show you how you can get a little bit more of Elton's piano style into your own playing. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome back to the Keys Coach YouTube channel. My name's Adam and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm going to break down for you one of the best piano intros of all time. This is Elton John's Your Song, and we're just going to dive straight in to learning it. So we're in the key of E flat for this intro. And E flat has three flats. It's got an E flat, an A flat, and a B flat. So this is our scale. Now, the major chords in the key of E flat are E flat, which is chord 1, A flat, which is chord 4, B flat, which is chord 5. And our kind of harmonic sequence that the whole intro is based around basically goes E flat, A flat, B flat, A flat. I'll do that again. So it goes E flat, A flat, B flat, A flat. Now, of course, that doesn't sound like Your Song just yet, but I'm just trying to break down the harmonic framework, the kind of chords that the intro is built over. So let me show you now what Elton actually plays in his right hand. I'll do that once more for you, just a little bit slower. By the way, if you want to follow along with all of the exercises I'm covering in today's video, you can download a free PDF lesson book which contains the notation for all of the stuff I'm going to be working through. The link is down in the video description. Go and grab your copy. So you can see that the intro follows that chord sequence that we looked at right at the beginning. So let's break down exactly what he's playing in his right hand. He starts here. Now I call this a boxed in triad. Okay, this is an E flat boxed in triad. I'll explain why it's boxed in. So if I take this note away here, this G, we're left with this. And this is a E flat triad in second inversion. Just as a reminder, you got root position, first inversion, and second inversion. So this is a second inversion E flat triad. And what he does is he doubles this note here. Okay, he doubles it down the bottom. So we've got this octave G, and then the rest of the triad is filled in. So it's kind of like it's boxed in, an E flat boxed in triad. Sorry, I'll stop saying E flat boxed in triad, but you get what I mean, right? And then he just arpeggiates. He goes whole chord. So he goes like up these two and then down here. See that? So that's a little thing we can kind of take away. Oh, on any chord, I can just now play the whole triad as a boxed in triad and then go and then just arpeggiate those notes in my right hand. Hold that thought for later. We'll come back to that. So he starts here. And then he moves up to A flat. And he does exactly the same thing again, but just a slightly different arpeggiated pattern. Let's do the whole thing so far. So the next chord in the sequence is a B flat, and he plays that chord like this. He ends up on a boxed in triad. If I take this note out, we've got a B flat in root position, and he just doubles that note down the bottom, the note that's at the top. So we've got, and then he jumps down to an A flat down there. If I take this note out here, we've got an A flat in second inversion, and he just doubles that note there. So the whole thing So you may now be wondering, what's he playing in his left hand? Is he just playing the root notes of all those chords? Let me show you what that would sound like. Doesn't sound bad, it kind of works, but it isn't what he plays. What he actually plays is a pedal. Now that is where you keep the same note in the bass all the way through the sequence. There are two types of pedals normally. There's what we call a pedal on the one, sometimes known as a tonic pedal. So we're in the key of E flat, so we keep E flat at the bottom all the way through the sequence. There's also another pedal called a dominant pedal, which is where you keep the 5 of the key. So in the key of E flat, that will be a B flat. Let me just show you what both of those sound like. So I'll show you the tonic pedal first. This is actually what Elton John does in the intro. That's the tonic pedal. That's the pedal on the one. We've kept the E flat at the bottom. I'll show you now what it sounds like with a 5 at the bottom all the way through. So we're going to keep the B flat in our left hand. You can see it's pulling a little bit more. It's always wanting to go back to that 1. Let me do that again. Yeah, it's like a little device you can use just to create a bit more tension. Now, the pattern Elton is playing is he's using his little finger and his thumb. Sort of sounds, on its own like that, it sounds like... I don't actually know what that's from, but it sort of sounds very ominous when you just put the left hand on its own. But yeah, it's essentially using the little finger and the thumb. So if you want to play this intro, I'd probably get both hands really secure separately. So let me just do that. Here's the right hand. I then get the left hand really secure. I'm going to put them together. Here's the whole intro. So as regular viewers of this channel will know, one of the things I really like to do whenever I've learned a new voicing, a new melody, a new little trick or something, I like to put it into my playing in my own music. I like to create a new piece of music where I can kind of own this thing and not only be able to play it in the context of someone else's song. You know, I don't want to be able to just use all those little arpeggiated ideas when I'm playing Elton John's Your Song. I want to be able to use them in whatever I play. It's kind of like being a chef, right? Chefs don't just cook other people's recipes. They learn, they kind of nick things from here, nick things from there, and then they kind of fuse all the flavors together and make their own kind of meals and their own dishes that other people can sample. And it's taken inspiration from lots of different places. And that's kind of what you have to do as a piano player. You have to nick little bits and then get them into your playing in your own music as quickly as possible. So that's what we're going to do now. Now, the best way to do this is to move into a different key. Now, I'm going to move into the key of C. And you may be wondering why we're moving keys. And the reason is it just gives you a fresh pair of ears, a fresh perspective. It means you don't hear things in the context of E flat. It just kind of freshens everything up. So we're going to move into C. And the first thing I'm going to do is come up with a chord sequence that I'm going to base my intro around, my own chord sequence. So in the key of C, I think I'm going to go C, which is chord 1, then G, which is chord 5. Then I'm going to go to flat 7, which is a B flat, great chord in a key to use. It's not diatonic, but it sounds fantastic. And then to chord 4, which is F. I'll play all of that again. So we've got C, going to G, chord 5, then to B flat, flat 7, then to F, which is chord 4, and then back to C. Now that's what our intro is going to be based around, that chord sequence. Now the first thing is to put it all over that pedal. So let's have a go at doing that. So it's going to go... So I'm doing C, G over C, B flat over C, F over C, and then back to C. Let's now see if we can box in some of the triads in our right hand. So there's our original right hand shape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double this note at the top. So there is our new C chord, you see? The note at the top of a voicing usually is like a melody note. It's the one that rings out. If I do this, da, that note, it's the note you hear at the top. It just rings out. So think of that top note of your voicing like the kind of melody, as it were. The next chord is a G. So let's double this note that's at the top. Let's put that at the bottom as well. So we've now got an octave. There's our boxed in triad. So far we've got... Then we're going to go to B flat, which would be... See that? There was our original shape. We'd double this note at the top. It's now down here as well. And then the next one would be F, which would be there. So there's our whole shape. And then back to C. Let's quickly see if we can remember that left hand pattern as well that Elton was using in the intro. He was going... Remember that? Let's have a go at now playing that right hand part with our boxed in triads and the left hand part that Elton was playing. Let's give it a go. Immediately we've kind of got it out of the sound of your song. We've got a new sequence, we've kind of got some new voicings. But we're kind of using the ideas from it. I do this all the time. It's so useful. Now, one of the things I think is missing is the kind of movement in our right hand. At the moment, it's very static. It's very like chord, chord. It's quite boring. I think we want to spice up our right hand and add in a little bit more movement. What did Elton John do when he played the intro to your song? He played the chord and then he arpeggiated the notes that he'd already played. He kind of went, remember that? Now, let's keep it simple. Let's go back to our chord. Let's just use that exact same rhythm, but just go straight up the chord we've already played. So we're going to go... And then the next chord would be... And so on. Okay, let's have a go at playing that. Now, you can either choose to do the kind of more complex left-hand part, or if hand independence is something you're working on, you can just... literally hold down octaves or single notes, whatever works for you. Let's give that a go, just playing that pattern. See that? Immediately it begins to sound more like a kind of intro. Let's have a go at changing up that right hand pattern. So rather than playing the chord and then just arpeggiating it straight up, like we were just then, let's change the order. So let's go, which is similar to what Elton John does on that intro. And let's do that on each chord. So we're going to go... Let's try that with the left hand part as well. You can hear we're starting to get really creative with it now. So we've got two different versions of that right hand part. We've got the version where it goes... And we've also got the version... So let's have a go at changing it each time we change chords. So we're going to start off by just arpeggiating up, and then on the next chord we're going to do the one where we change the order of the last two notes. Let's give it a go. Do that again. What we're doing here is we're giving ourselves different options in our right hand. So often we can find ourselves playing exactly the same thing we always play, playing it the same way every time. And that's fine, but sometimes you want the music to flow a bit differently, be a little bit different on that chorus than in that chorus. Just have something about it each time the sequence comes round that's just slightly different, a little tweak. here and there. Let me give you an example of how I might play this same sequence and how I might change it up very slightly each time. Here we go. You can see I'm following the same sequence each time, but it just changes ever so slightly, and that's what gets the music out of sounding like it's on a loop. And this is something I'm really trying to teach on this channel. So if you're interested in learning more of this stuff, do drop a comment down below. Let me know what you found useful and what you'd like to learn more of. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you found it useful. Don't forget to go and grab your free PDF lesson book. The link is down in the video description. It contains the notation for everything we've covered in today's video. And before you go, while I was away in Vietnam last week, we crossed over into the 10,000 subscribers mark on this channel, which is absolutely incredible. I've only been uploading these videos since January, so to be at 10,000 subscribers is already, and it's all down to you guys out there liking and subscribing to the channel, commenting, all those different things, helping it reach new people. So thank you so much for all the support. I did so much thinking while I was away in Vietnam about where I want this whole Keys Coach journey to kind of go. I've got so many ideas, and the community is at the heart of it all. So yeah, drop a comment below, say hi, let me know what you'd like me to cover in the next video. Lots of news coming out over the next few months, so do keep an eye on all of our kind of social media channels. I can't wait to share it with you. Lots and lots of exciting things in the pipeline. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.